Still starting. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weekly show, Just Whelmed, where every week I talk for about an hour and a half about Young Justice. So this week we covered episodes 11, 12, 13, and 14. Oh, I forgot to mute it again. Good job. Good job, me. So looks like so far we just have Joe Davis sitting in the chat at the moment. I sent him an invite already, so hopefully he gets that and joins in soon. So I would consider these 4 episodes to be the episodes where, it's very obvious now, it's official. Miss Martian and Superboy are in fact in a relationship, and yeah, I mean everybody saw that coming from episode 2, from like the one scene Miss Martian was in. So I'll just. Well, I'm not sure if I sent it right. So I'm just gonna simply make sure. Yeah, okay, I did do that. All right. I'll invite again just in case. All right, so I guess we should start off from where we are. So, episode 11, Terrors, which is a nice little undercover assignment that is given to Miss Martian and Superboy to pose as these 2 siblings, the Terror Twins, as they are called, who have super strength. And yeah, that's yeah, that's pretty much the basic premise. They the Justice League takes down the actual Terror Twins. It's actually pretty nice. It's got Superman and Miss Martian, Mr. Martian Manhunter, not Miss Martian, Superman and Martian Manhunter taking down the Terror Twins, and then Superboy and Miss Martian taking their place. So they go to Belle Rev prison, which has none other than Amanda Waller, and Joe will be in a few. Okay, Joe's going to be here in a few minutes, so I'll probably be like last week, where I'll cover the first episode by myself, and he'll come in, give his thoughts, and we'll continue. So yeah, they're just finishing up the last episode that they have of BFF, I guess. Yeah, they had a late start. I guess technically I had a late start. I was a little bit busy doing stuff around the house, so that is what it is. Anyway. Now, the reason that they're going undercover into Belle Rev is because 2 of the ice villains that they fought in the first episode of the show, they fought for, were sent to Belle Rev immediately, whereas Mr. Freeze and Ice Cold Jr. were sent to Arkham and a juvenile, area, individually. Freeze's got to go to Arkham because he's Freeze. But for whatever reason, Freeze decides that instead of staying as usual place in Arkham, he has himself declared sane and gets transferred to Belle Rev. And Ice Cold Jr. decides, you know what, I want to be tried as an adult. So he gets sent to Belle Rev as well. And I've heard people call it Belle Rev, but they call it Belle Rev in the show, so I will call it Belle Rev. Just like Ra's al Ghul, I will call it Ra's al Ghul because that's how they pronounce it in this show. So they start off in the prison transport. Ice Cold Junior's just chatting it up with both Superboy and Miss Martian, very obviously flirting with Miss Martian. Thinking it's the girl Terror twin, who's I think is Temperance. Is it Temperance Terror? Yeah, Temperance. I think, because they're both T's. He's Superboy being Tommy Terror, and I think she's Temperance Terror. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But It's like he's hitting on the entire time, and it's like you can't see it because you're siblings, but she's hot. And then the entire time, it's like, well, no, he knows she's hot. He's very obviously attracted to her, and then that's totally gonna play later. So we move on. We've got everybody gets sent. It's like a male side and a female side. Separating genders, whatever. It's not Arkham. It's not all mixed together. So, Miss Martian gets bunked up with Killer Frost. All right, looks like Joe's just getting the camera set up, and then they'll be good to go. All right, good. Just let me know if you need a new invite or anything. I don't know how this works. I've been doing it for 4 weeks. I still really know how it works. Anyway, so Miss Martian gets bunked up with Killer Frost, who's not Caitlin Snow, because I don't believe Caitlin Snow actually existed when this was airing, or like just started existing when this was airing. I think I don't remember when exactly the New 52 started, but this is Crystal Frost, not Caitlin Snow. I actually rewound it to check and make sure that it's not like, oh, it's Caitlin Snow already. No, it's not Caitlin Snow. It's Crystal Frost. So and of course, Superboy, pretending to be Tommy Terror, is bunked up with Icicle Jr., who I believe is one of the many voices Yuri Lowenthal does in this show. And when it's Yuri Lowenthal, it's always very obvious when it's Yuri Lowenthal, whether it be Sasuke, Ben 10, Neil from Camp. It's always obvious that it's him. Even when he's doing Neil, it's still obvious, and that's probably the most different voice that he does of all of them. He's just got that distinct voice. Ashley loved episode 11. I wonder why. But yeah, I'll definitely make sure you guys get your thoughts in on the episode before I continue on. But see, we've got, and then of course we got, it's a regular prison, except they've got these collars that inhibit their powers, but doesn't inhibit all of Miss Martian's powers because they're specifically designed. Freaking Killer Frost giving Martian the bedroom eyes as she's changing into the other orange suit. It's probably the awkwardness of any animation, but still. I'll go ahead. All right, I'll send you another invite, Joe. All right, paste. Yeah. All right, so you got another invite. It should be going through. I'll just kind of. All right, there we go. Hey, Joe.
Hello. So yeah, the prison episode was really good. Sorry, just.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is very good. So and since it's like a generic prison setup, you've got to have the generic prison lunchroom where all the beef happens. Pun intended.
Yep. Considering half these supervillains are like massively like beefy, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
It only would have been more hilarious if there was like a Minotaur villain or something.
Yeah. It's like it even has the Cobra Venom guy that fought Bane in episode 4.
Yeah.
And I went looking, and apparently that's Mammoth. From the Teen Titans, the big guy.
It's been so long since I've seen the original Teen Titans that I don't remember, but
he's the big guy from Hive that's got the orange hair.
They always pull these really like random deep cuts in this show that are like, if you know DC, you're gonna recognize these people.
Oh yeah, this show is like 85% deep cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and of course, the big boss running the prison is Icicle Senior. So this whole their whole plan is to break out, and probably one of my favorite parts of the episode is just It's like how, for whatever reason, the Riddler is there. He's not at Arkham, which I don't get. But he's like,
I know they made a point of saying like Frost tried work to get into Bel Rev. Like he was like, I'm not actually crazy. I should be sent to Bel Rev. So I don't know. Maybe the Riddler was found not crazy in trial or something.
Probably, but it's like he's just a Batman villain, not in Bel Rev, that not in Arkham. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but it's funny because he's just like, it's like they just keep picking on him because he's the Riddler. He's like to them he's just discount Joker.
Yeah, and I can see that too because like of all the villains in like all of Batman's rogues gallery, the Riddler is the one that's most self-defeatist because the whole thing is like you can easily beat me if you can figure out my riddle. And Batman's always like, I can figure out your riddle. Why are you doing this? Stop this now.
And so and of course they've got like these ins with the guards, like most corrupt prisons do. Yep. It's a plot convenience that he's there, says Ashley.
Yep.
Yeah, it pretty much was a plot convenience. But so it's like got the prison guards, they got new jumpsuits. Icicle Jr. just wants to prove himself to his father. That's
normal.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for this kind of thing.
So does Icicle Sr., because I didn't notice it in the episode, but does Icicle Sr. like actually have any powers?
Well, he definitely had some wrist-mounted ice thing going when they were doing the actual breakout, because he was up there with Cold and Freeze.
Okay.
Ashley's like, poor Icicle Jr. He was trying too hard. He's trying so hard. Like, yeah, he was trying very hard to do a lot of things in this episode and failing at all of them. And one thing I forgot to bring up in the episode that it was in is like, I think that was Dr. Light that during the Infiltrator episode that they caught, and throughout the episode was constantly recognizing Superboy. It's like, yes, he's.
I know he was. They called him Ojo, but I know that's just like, isn't that Spanish for like eye or something like that?
I don't know who he was, but he's got a helmet and it shoots a light beam. So I'm like, is that Dr. Light? I don't know. I don't know these things. But it's like they kept messing with his head to like not spill the beans that it was Superboy. Because like it's like they went through all this trouble, like dyeing his hair, cutting his hair, and it's like I could still see the fact that you're Superboy through all that.
Which is really telling, because most of the time the costume changes like that, they don't, or they accurately cover up who it's supposed to be or whatever. But
Clark Kent takes off his glasses and nobody can tell that he's Superman. Superboy cuts and dyes his hair. He could still tell that he's Superboy.
Yep. Oh wow, Dave Franco played Edward Nygma in this episode.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, actually, can Dave Franco just play Riddler in the DCEU?
That'd be cool. See that. Like, he could do that pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like just have him actually act like the Joker.
And it's just like some little. I was actually looking at the cast for this episode.
Yeah.
Trying to find out who the person was. So.
Ashley is in agreement that would work.
Yeah. I'm not seeing who played. There's an actor, James Remar, who played Jor Ma Kent, Icicle Sr., Wilcox, Cooper, and Hauser.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of voice actors that voice multiple characters. Like I don't even think this is the first episode. I don't even think this is the first character Yuri Lowenthal has done on the show as well. This is the first one I'm calling out because it's the one that's most obvious to be him. Well, most obvious so far to be him. We will get to when he's a main character when we get to
that. So the named character that he is on IMDb, according to that, and I'm looking up on Google to see if he's actually just an individual character or modification, is Professor Ojo.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I was like, I don't know who he is. I'm like, he kind of looks like Dr. Light. So I'm like, is that Dr. Light? I don't know. Because like just the design of the helmet sort of looked Dr. Light-ish.
It looks like he's kind of a Green Arrow villain.
Okay, okay. Anyway, so they've got these new orange jumpsuits that are thermally heated. They they cut the power, and they which negates all the colors. All the smart people take theirs off, and for whatever reason Captain Cold doesn't. I don't know why. It's like of all the people, Captain Cold would absolutely take off that. I don't know why he didn't.
Well, he doesn't like have any powers though, right?
Yeah, but then the whole shock collar thing. The Captain Cold that I know from like Legends of Tomorrow, when the Flash, he would be like, "I'm getting this thing off as soon as possible. I'm not letting them shock me again."
He is the Captain Cold from Legends of Tomorrow and Flash wouldn't have let himself get caught there.
Well, he got caught to help.
I know.
Cause a mass escape.
He would have found a way to help him get out without, getting himself caught, because that Captain Cold is far superior.
Well, here's the thing. Wentworth Miller would absolutely do that. In fact, there was an entire TV show centered around him doing that.
Well, yeah, Wentworth Miller would.
All right, we're getting off track.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's a two-stage breakout. You've got on the guy side 3 ice villains, freezing it up. Meanwhile, you got Icicle Jr. and Superboy trying to freeze and break down the wall, and Killer Frost on the other end with some other person whose name I don't know. Freezing, breaking down the wall on their end to try to bridge across from the female wing into the male wing, and then have them escape through the male wing. This entire time they've just kind of messing around with Amanda Waller. It's like, that's what you do when you have an upper hand on Amanda Waller. You fuck with Amanda Waller. When she can't do shit, she's like, it's so cathartic.
Well, it's because she just like drives the screwdriver straight into anybody that she like has power over, because that's just how she is. She like Batman would normally be smart about like people that he captures or like has like under his, I guess, like lock and key temporarily or whatever. Mm-hmm. He doesn't taunt them. She taunts them all the time, and that's like her only flaw as like a BA character is she taunts people that has under her control.
If it wasn't for this character flaw, the entirety of Suicide Squad wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. If she was smart about, utilizing it, but she taunts and she.
Yeah. Anyway, so of course, over at some point, Killer Frost sort of realizes that Temperance Terror is not Temperance Terror; it's in fact Miss Martian. So she freezes her, because that's what she does. But it's Miss Martian. Fire's her weakness, not ice. She's fine. But
she's more comfortable in ice.
Oh yeah, but Superboy doesn't know that. So first thing they do is like Superboy sort of manipulates Icicle Jr. It's like the collar's starting to turn on the female side. We gotta go stop it. So they run over to the office. They've got people standing guard there. It's like, do you want your collars turned back on? Let us in there. It's like, then of course Professor Oho is just like, wait a second. That's right. I know who you are. And then Superboy just like punches him out again. Superboy just doesn't have time for that. Mm-hmm. So goes in, turns the collars back on because he's Superboy. And he's just like,
whatever.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go. And then this causes friction between him and Freeze, who then they meet at back where they're doing their job. And Freeze is like, and then Superboy's like, and he's like, you heard him in the lunchroom, because like they had this sort of fake fight to get Freeze into Amanda Waller's, office to turn off the collars in the first place. So it's like, you heard them in the lunchroom. It's like, Freeze trying to take control. This is it.
Right.
And so it's like, and they're just like traitor, and then then they have a lightsaber fight. Not a fan of that one.
Well, it's in general. This episode I think was really good, but it breaks down during the prison escape. Like I don't know what it is. It wasn't as interesting when they actually started breaking out to me.
I mean, if this was a two-parter, like comparing this to the Prison Break episode in Avatar: The Last Airbender, that was a two-parter, whereas an episode getting in, an episode getting out. That way, you could flesh out both parts.
Yeah. Well, and my other issue is like it's villains being villains. So it's them trying to break out, but it's how stupid and easily manipulated they are into not being able to break out because all it takes is like Superboy using some lines. Because it's not like Superboy is Robin. Superboy doesn't have like the covert ops skill that Robin would have to handle this kind of thing. So it's Superboy easily talking the idiot Icicle Jr. into basically mucking up the whole affair.
I mean, Superboy still was, trained, was taught by Cadmus.
Yeah, and he's not an idiot. I'm not trying to pretend that he is, but like when it comes to like being able to talk your way into those situations to be the face, so to speak, there's a certain amount of like experience needed or practice involved and stuff like that. And Robin would have more of that, considering the investigative training Batman's probably put him through. But regardless, it's still fun, and that's all that really matters. And I actually like Superboy more than I've ever liked Superman.
Yeah, so. It's like, but there's so many times when you're just talking and I want to bring something up. I'm like, I'm gonna wait until we get to that point to bring that up, because then it's like I just want to wait for that aha moment in you when a lot of the stuff like sort of, because like you bring up a lot of stuff that I just like I just want to be like, no, I'm like, nope, no, I'll save it. I'll let him figure that out naturally.
It's not like it doesn't make some amount of sense. I mean, if he was programmed to be this weapon from Cadmus, then he's programmed to handle some of this stuff. But it's just, it's kind of weird because I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's like just like Miss Martian naming him. Last week I'm going to put a pin in that. We'll come back to it when when it gets resolved, which I think is in 2 weeks. I think. Yeah. So, they finally break through the wall to the women's side. Temperance isn't there, obviously, and Superboy, does he punch out Killer Frost? It's been the longest amount of time since I've seen this for any other episode, because I watched these episodes on Monday for whatever reason.
The other woman that was with Killer Frost tried to fist fight him. And she tried to blast Superboy to freeze him. And he basically threw her at Killer Frost.
Yeah, and then of course Miss Martian was all frozen, and then it's like he's just trying to telekinetically talk to her, try to get her out of that. She breaks out, and they share their first kiss. Well, first shown kiss. I'm like, I'm not entirely sure that they didn't kiss during downtime.
Well, this is kind of like, because there was the scene in the lunchroom when Icicle Jr. was like, man, you got to find a girl that understands you. And then like Connor has that moment of like, oh my God, he's right. She understands me.
Yeah.
She likes me. So I kind of think this is their first real like admitting even each other that this is what's going on.
Ashley agrees that kiss.
Yeah. It was hilarious though, because he's just like, oh yeah. Ash was talking about Icicle Jr.'s response, and he's just like, oh God, your brother and sister. Oh, it's so gross.
Just that slow realization of what's been going on and that he's been tricked. It's just like, oh man, my dad's gonna kill me.
Right? Maybe he should just like be a superhero. It might be better for his professional life.
Probably. But, of course, much like any other plan that has happened in the show, the escape is stopped, but, what they actually wanted still happened. Now they have Hugo Strange running Bell Rev.
Mm-hmm.
Much like literally every episode, it's like the superheroes win, but the light also wins. Yeah,
it's one of those situations too where it's like people that don't know the DC as well will be like, Hugo doesn't seem that bad until there's the whole light situation. But like, because he has the moment where he has was it the session with the Tuppence twins or the Terror twins, and Superboy has
Tuppence is her name, right? Thank you.
Yeah. The Terror twins where Superboy has a real revelation about his relationship with Superman and all that. And you're like, oh, Doctor Strange, Hugo Strange is kind of a cool dude, and blah blah blah. And no, he's not a cool dude. He is like by far the least cool dude. He's probably legitimately worse than Amanda Waller, if only because he is like legitimately a terrible human being.
Yeah. But that's the end of this episode. Oh yeah, I guess Aqualad was, in the ship the entire time.
So was Tornado. He was in the ship too.
Yeah. They're just like, yeah. I guess they don't need us there. All right. I mean, I would have been at least a little suspicious when Miss Martian, when all the telekinetic, stuff stops. It's like,
the link, the telepathic link.
Yeah. When that ceases, and Superboy's trying to get out, it's not getting anybody. It's like, also, what were they doing that entire time? Just sitting there, just watching.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Like, I would have loved a little scene with like Aqualad awkwardly asking Tornado a question or two.
It's like, what would have been great is just them two sitting there together, just playing Go Fish or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Or like totally. Aqualad eating a sandwich.
And Go Fish would have been a hilarious game for them to play.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thinking. All right, so moving on to Homefront. Episode 12. I'm like, I didn't have to check it. I'm like, I knew it. I actually went through. I'm like, I gotta remember the episodes this time.
Yep.
So episode 12, Homefront, and so how when you were talking about how you weren't a fan of Wally at school, and you were much a bigger fan of Miss Martian and Connor at school.
Yeah.
What do you think of the school scene in this episode?
I mean, it was short, and the best part was the part they highlighted heavily, which was Robin showing up, taking a selfie with Artemis, and it's just like, we're going to laugh about this later, and then walks off with a picture. And Barbara's just like, what the hell are you doing, Dick? Don't be such a you.
Yeah. Barb shows up and then will disappear until season 2.
Regardless, but it's hilarious because, like, we know it's Robin, A, because of the voice, and B, because it's just too convenient, and et cetera, et cetera. And but she doesn't, and it's one of those little hilarious things. I can't wait until she figures it out, until it shows up later on.
Yeah,
it'll be a point.
I mean, that scene will come back at a later point. In fact, that entire line will come back, but like framed completely differently.
Yep. But and then I also really like that this episode kind of reveals tidbits about in the very beginning about Artemis's past.
Oh yeah,
a little more Artemis's.
That's like, so I guess, spoiler alert, Cheshire is her sister.
Yep. Which was the assassin employed and works for the Hand. Not the Hand, sorry. League of Shadows. It's the same difference. It's like legitimately the same difference.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same thing.
But because back in episode 10, which was the Lex Luthor episode dealing with Real Asia or whatever, she was in that one. And she was in another one previously, I think, when they were trying to protect that nano machine doctor.
The same one with Professor Oho.
Yeah. Weird.
Yep.
But regardless.
Yeah, and it's like also still implied that her father's a real bad guy, because they were more afraid of her father, even though at that point in time when Cheshire left, her mother was in prison.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Artemis is from a family of villains, guys.
Which makes it interesting now too. If Artemis's mother, who is now in a wheelchair, was a villain at one point, or at least knew about the whole villain thing, does she know Artemis is a hero, or does she think Artemis is an assassin?
She knows that Artemis is a hero.
Okay, so it's like I'm really interested how that family dynamic works.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like we're not even scratching on the surface yet on that family dynamic. Just wait until we get the official confirmation of who the father is, even though we could probably piece it together who the father is.
Yep.
But that's like the meat of this episode was essentially Die Hard in the cave.
Yeah. Complete with Vince scene.
Yep. So the two other T.O. Morrow constructed robots come and attack the cave. I think I don't know if their names are said in this, but I think
they're not.
They're not, but I don't remember their actual names on top of the head. I know they're both Red something.
Yeah, because they're red.
Yeah. So one's got fire powers, one's got water powers. And of course the fire powers are easy things to take out both Aqualad and Miss Martian.
Yep.
So everybody with superpowers are just kind of trapped in the hangar, and it's up to the two non-superpowered heroes to save the day. And this is probably conceptually one of the best episodes because it's always in the back of your head is like, why do these superpowered heroes rely so heavily on these non-superpowered heroes? And it's because for situations like this, when it doesn't take superpowers as situation, it takes thinking, it takes tactics.
And it's interesting too because a lot of times the villains will target your superpowered individuals first.
Oh yeah,
because they're direct. It's like disarming the man with the gun. You always go after the gun first, but the person is still there.
Yeah,
that can potentially stop you. So
anyway, so we've got. It's like it is Die Hard, and it's like of course for whatever reason Robin doesn't already have the floor plan for the cave in his system. I don't know why. That sounds like something that he would have already done.
Yeah, that sounds like a major oversight. Like that feels like he would have had the floor plan for the cave in his system before he would have been in the cave.
Oh yeah. That's like, but he probably could have had it at another point and changed OSs or whatever. It's like
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I just want to know where Robin keeps the computer on him. Like it's got to be somewhere on his person, like a little disc or something he keeps in his belt that's got a supercomputer compressed in there.
It's like it's either like a compressed supercomputer or it's like some sort of
massive wireless hookup.
Or it's like you got the screen here, and then it's the computer is like it's probably wirelessly connected to a computer which is on his utility belt.
That's so Shadowrun.
Yeah. So of course they have this idea that they first find their way to the hangar and they just get their butts kicked by the two other Reds. Also, Red Tornado is just conveniently doing watchtower duty during all this. Oh, Kimber's here. Oh, hey Kimber, you wanna jump in on this? So Red Tornado is just conveniently on watchtower duty the entire time. So obviously these robots are there for him again.
Right.
So. And of course it's just like the entire episode is Tom can call in. All right, so I will do. There we go. So easy to do, Tom, because just search odd shaped channel and it's like, boop, there it is.
Oh, that's very fair.
Yeah. So of course with give him 5 minutes. All right, yeah, they just woke up, so we'll probably wrap up this episode and then and then I get them in here.
Cool.
So, and of course, it's like they fight the robots in the hangar. Robin throws one of his discs at a robot. It deflects and it hits right next to Wally, who's sort of encased in metal next to Connor.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, that is how you would take those two down, especially when Wally can't vibrate his molecules
as fast as he pretends to be able to.
Yeah. So we've got. It's like now that that's sitting next to Wally's head. Comms have been down, but that's now got this separate shortwave comm that he can now talk to Wally. So their new plan is to set up an EMP.
Yep.
And of course, Wally being the science guy, he's the one that's like, okay, I can do this. I'll walk you through everything you need to do. So they go
if
through.
You had 1 to 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, but they managed to get everything they need. Unfortunately, they need to bring it back to the hangar.
Yep.
So they managed to sneak their way back into the hangar through the vents again, and of course, Robin comes in. Artemis out of arrows, of course. Robin tries to put it in. And it's just too short. Can't connect. He needs. Oh, Joe, you're muted. I don't know if you're talking to me or. Okay, So got the. It just needs a little bit more metal, and there's no metal around. Everybody's out of their stuff. So I was like, oh great, what's gonna happen now? And then they get taken down by the two things. Artemis almost drowns. Robin actually drowns. No, later he says he pretended to drown, but passed out anyway, which
sounds like he's like puffing up. He's like, "Oh, I did it on purpose."
Yeah, but of course I can't believe I skipped over the Artemis needs an arsenal. That great job, Tom. Tom, just let me know when you're ready. Finally get you in this show after 4 weeks. So I can't believe I skipped over the best pep talk ever given in animation.
Mm-hmm.
Get Traught or get dead.
Yep, almost as good as Hawkeye's pep talk in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, almost as good. It is on that level. It is so great because it's like everything you need to know about those two characters summed up in one sentence: get Traught or get dead.
Yep. But I'm so distraught. We'll get Traught.
Or get dead.
Which this is like the third or fourth time this has happened in this series so far, and I love that that's like one of Robin's character traits that they've applied to him. Is he deconstructs these words that weren't ever meant to be deconstructed. Like he's like distraught. Well, Traught is obviously the positive form of distraught.
Yeah.
Duh. I'm like, I don't think anyone ever uses the word Traught. Okay.
And
not like that.
Yeah. So. And of course, the next episode that even gets expanded even further when he goes for Traught.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's a reason that I named the show after that joke. It's just so great.
People are always overwhelmed or underwhelmed. Why isn't anyone just whelmed?
Yep.
But whelmed isn't work.
Yeah. But it should be. It should be.
It's positively Shakespearean of Robin.
Yeah, it is. And of course, Artemis, after whelmed was a word according to Ashley.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't think it's one currently in like the lexicon, so to speak. But yeah,
it is. It has in fact fallen out of use.
So Latin.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Of course, after she's the last one left, Artemis is still freaking out. She doesn't think that she can do it, but then she decides she's going to get Traught, and finds herself in the souvenir room.
Mm-hmm.
And what's in the souvenir room? One of her arrows.
It should be noted that Cheshire's mask is also in the souvenir room,
Oh yeah,
she
and
has a
she
moment where she flashes back, and that's when we get like full on confirmation of who the other girl is. That's her.
Yeah, it's like she just has a nice conversation with Cheshire. Well, Cheshire's mask.
Yep.
And grabs the arrow, puts it in her quiver, and pretends to give up just so that she can complete the circuit.
Yep. That's all you gotta do. You gotta complete that circuit.
Yeah, it's
So,
like
it should be noted that I don't think an arrow would complete a circuit like that.
it all depends on type of metal used, if it's conductive or not.
Like the idea of the circuit would be like a singular like flow, but the arrow would create its own cross flow. So I don't know. I don't know, depending on the metal.
I think it wasn't a one side was up, one side was down. I think they were both either up or both either down.
Okay.
And it was just sort of like a pass through, which is why Robin just needed a piece of metal to complete the circuit.
I mean, it's the weirdest little thing to nitpick about anyway. We're talking about a world with people with superhuman abilities, so it's physics is already kind of out the window.
I mean, yes, if one of those nodes was positive and one of those nodes was negative, that was just a short circuit. Yep. Yeah, that is correct. But sets off the EMP, all the robots go down, all the machines go down, nobody drowns, nobody's set on fire, everybody's fine. Red Tornado comes back. It's like, EMPs only work on machines that are present at the time that it happens. All right, Tom is good. I will add him through as we're doing this wrap up. All right, invite. All right, getting Tom in here. All right, so now of course, Red Tornado's first instinct is to touch these robots, which sort of rewrites something in his mechanical brain.
Either Sid's like a virus or whatever, but I get the feeling this was part of the plan all along.
That's always part of the plan all along. And of course, Red Tornado just sort of freaks out, tornadoes everybody, and then they're all gone, all three of them.
Yep.
Oh, hey, Tom. Good to see you're actually awake.
Hey, don't. Yeah, I got off at 7.
All right, so what do you think of the first 2 episodes, Terrors and Homefront, before we move on to Alpha Male? Tom, your audio's not working for me.
Working?
Oh, there we go.
All right.
And now it's stopped working again.
Yeah. It's not. No sound.
Oh.
It's like you get like a word every now and then, and he's gone.
We lost Tom.
All right, we lost Tom. Now, while we're waiting on that, according to Ashley, whelm is a Middle English word. It's a nautical term for capsize.
Well then, not used at all.
All right then. Nice little English lesson. All right, Tom's gonna actually set up his computer.
Cool beans.
All right, so I guess now is a good time to move on, because Tom is so elusive, according to Kimber.
It's like the Sasquatch of the Great Northeast.
Yes, yeah. So, of course, got to move on to the next episode, Alpha Male, which picks up right after the end of Homefront, where everybody's still talking about what happened with Red Tornado. Everybody's a little on edge, and Aqualad's having a conversation with Batman that he fears that Red Tornado might have been the mole. Of course, Superboy can hear this, and kind of lashes out on
with relatively decent reason. Not like good. I wouldn't say good reason, but decent reason.
It's like everybody has a reason to feel the way that they do.
Yes. I don't think anybody's got a good enough reason to not give him not listen to Aqualad and give him a chance.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
That's like yeah. But you know what? The name of the episode is Alpha Male. Everybody's just being the alpha male.
Yep.
So they get sent on an assignment where the Brain and Monsieur Mala are messing around with cobra venom on animals. And oh boy, this is an interesting concept. Just having an entire island of genetically enhanced animals all under your control. It's pretty nice. It's like they got some nice designs, especially with those elephants. Those elephants looked awesome.
Yeah, the with the cobra venom tears, so to speak.
Yeah, cobra venom tears, and then they had like spikes coming out of their eyebrows.
Yep.
It was pretty awesome.
The smaller monkeys too were pretty cool with the little like bone spurs coming out of their arms.
And then Ashley's talking about that gorilla with the beret, which is Monsieur Mala, who was also a character in the final season of Teen Titans, along with the Brain.
Mm-hmm.
And that was their bad guys. I forgot what they were called. I say the Doom Patrol was the good guys in that, right?
I honestly don't even know anymore because there's so much about that show I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
Since it was on the air, and then once it was off the air, I caught random episodes here and there.
Yeah. It's like, but I seem to recall that the Doom Patrol was the good guys, and like, of course, looks like Tom might be coming back here. I see his channel icon.
I see you.
Oh, we don't see you.
Yeah, your camera does not appear to be working, but your audio does.
All right. I got this.
Okay.
As my computer crashes.
Do you?
Well, it's at least this time we can hear you, where last time we could see you but could hear like a word and then everything stopped.
It's funny. All right, I'm gonna grab my other webcam. I should be good to go real quick. Sorry for the whole thing.
All right, no problem.
But we're talking about real quick, so I know where to come in. We're talking right now the Red Tornado episode with Iva.
We moved on to alpha males, but I did want to get your thoughts of Terrors and Homefront before we moved on.
Okay, so just remind me what those, because I know the one is the Red Skull, or Red Skull. Wow, that'd be an episode. Red Tornado. What was the other one?
Terrors is the one
first
where
one in prison,
mm-hmm.
Pretending to be the Terror Twins to figure out why the ice villains.
Yeah.
And the one after that is when Robin and Artemis get back to the cave, and the other two red robots are there causing havoc, and Artemis and Robin have to stop them.
You know, the Die Hard style.
My charger in my bag. All right, blue cam. Kimber got it for me. Yeah, I liked both episodes for sure. The thing about
oh, there we go.
All right, I'm in my bedroom because Kimber's watching you on the TV.
Oh, okay.
I liked both. I like seeing them in like spy missions. Like I love their black uniform changes. So it's kind of cool to see them do something else that was kind of covert.
Yeah.
In that episode, that was cool. And to get to see some it's cool. It's cool that we get to see more of an inside to some of these villains. That's what the show does really well. Like I understand the motivations of these villains. Like Sportsmaster might have the dumbest name in the world, but I get why he's there.
It's cool, is it, Tom? With all the ice bullets, it's cool.
Well, Ice Cold Jr. is the least cool dude in the world, but
and of course, Ice Cold Senior has no chill.
Ah.
Oh my god. And then the Red Tornado one, it gave me Vision vibes. I remember thinking when watching Age of Ultron when he was wearing, or no, Civil War when he was wearing the clothes. I'm like, it's Red Tornado from
I mean, yeah. Vision and Red Tornado are pretty much the same character.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's only
Different set of
like major difference. Like Red Tornado is literally all just like tornado powers, as where Vision's got like psychic laser beams and matter control and
density control. Yeah.
like all sorts of other crap, and it's ridiculous.
Vision is what would happen if Tia Omara wanted to replicate Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not inaccurate. Plus laser beams.
Plus a little bit of Superman. All right, so yeah, now we're talking about Alpha Males, which is the episode with the Brain and Monsieur Mala and all of those Cobra Venom enhanced animals on the island. It's also
the first episode where we get was it Captain Marvel / Shazam or whatever you want to call him.
He's Captain Marvel now. They didn't have that lawsuit yet.
Billy Batson.
Yes, Billy Batson.
Which it's really hilarious. Like, if you know who he is before going into this episode, then it makes sense immediately. But like it makes, if you don't know anything about the character, it makes the reveal at the end so fantastic and makes everything fall into place just perfectly on the way why he acts the way he does.
It's like, because the best thing is that Billy just wants to be a part of the team over the league at this point. It's like they're all, closer to his actual age. And
it, like when you're his age, like adults are stuffy. Even if they're cool adults, they're usually like they're busy, they're doing their work, they're too busy with business with their fancy briefcases and having scones with lunch and all sorts of other crap. As where like the team, quote unquote, like because they don't really have a name at this point. They are, like you said, closer to his age, but teenagers are cool. You want to be like teenagers because they're closer in age to you anyway. So you are like, maybe they'll like me and not just like tolerate my existence.
I would like to point out Batman and Superman don't have scones with lunch. It's revealed that they have apple pie and devil's food cake. I just can't get over the fact that Superman goes to a diner and orders apple pie.
Yeah.
How American can you get?
How old school American can you get?
Well,
you don't have a slice of American cheese on there?
Oh. Hot.
People do that.
I don't know.
It's not cheese. It's the American cheese on it, and I'm just like, what?
It's just cheese whiz.
It's actually just an entire block of Velveeta.
It's what's for dinner tonight. Yeah. So this is Bane's Island. Is that what we said?
No. That's the first episode with Cobra Venom. This is the episode where the team all hates each other because Aqualad hid the fact that there was a mole,
and everything starts spiraling out of control.
And then, of course, Wally and Robin go off on their own because that's what they do. They're the bros.
See, this is the part of the series where it kind of fell flat for me. Besides, like everything else, the characterization is really good. It's just this whole mole plot.
Yeah,
it's not like the most original thing in the world, and I knew none of them would know. I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but I don't think anyone is working against them. You know what I mean? On purpose.
Yeah.
I have a theory on who the mole is, but I'll wait.
Oh yeah. I'll ask.
It's Mole Man.
That's like, but the episode, it's the second to last episode of season 1. I will ask everybody who hasn't seen the show yet who they think the mole is, and then I'll be surprised if anybody gets it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good reveal. I like that reveal.
I just wish the reveal was quicker. It just takes it takes a little too long to get there. But
I will point out though, like they're really giving you like this really hard like I don't think it's necessarily accurate, but they're trying to red herring you into believing who the mole is, like who everyone thinks the mole is. Like
oh, trust me, they go out of their way to like build up a lot of characters could be the moles are, but there's also a lot of really good, episodes around that.
Yeah.
It turns out it is just a member of the team that we haven't met named Red Herring.
No,
you thought it was me.
He's a lesser known Team Autobot.
Actually, Red Herring is actually an old. He actually is just going around stopping people from solving mysteries. Just getting in the way.
And pup named Scooby Doo.
Yeah, a pup named Scooby Doo.
He's Fred Jones.
Herring.
One problem.
Red Herring in that show is great.
The one episode he did do it.
Episode he did do it. Right, so, and of course, Miss Martian and Artemis, they go off on their own, and Superboy gets a little left out in the dark because he's like trying to be super protective of Megan now that they're actually in a relationship.
Yep.
And that doesn't go over so well. And
you don't own me.
You don't own me.
The emphasis of that scene. It's just like, oh, we're together, but you're not my boss.
So everybody has to fight a whole bunch of things. Captain Marvel and Aqualad, they wind up fighting the elephants. Superboy is fighting all the wolves. And I would make a Game of Thrones joke here, but I don't watch Game of Thrones.
He gets snow, or he gets ghosts later.
There we go. Thank you.
Somebody recommend. I think it's Wally recommends a name for the dog that falls flat, which I love the reference there too.
Oh yeah,
Crypto.
Crypto. It's that name's already taken. So.
Like, I don't consider the Power Pals or the Power Pets, whatever the hell they're called, Pet Pals. They're hardly canon. Like they'll show. Well, Batcat was like the most canon super pet there is from the new Batman stuff.
I'm gonna throw out now. They should do like a one-off episode or one-off like comic series of the pets of the super friends or whatever.
Oh, they do.
Where they fight against the Red Lantern that's a cat.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yep. Ooh, or like a version of Brightest Day, except just with the pets.
Yes.
That'd be pretty good. And
so you guys listening, DC, we are giving you fantastic ideas.
Yes. And then I'll got to move on now. Miss Martian and Artemis are fighting crocodiles. Artemis almost drowns again. She's like, "How can I almost drown 2 nights in a row?" Come on.
She's a city girl, and they don't swim.
No.
City people don't swim. It's just a thing.
I'm a county person. I don't swim.
Yeah, I'm a suburb country. Person, I don't swim, but I'm also like fat, so
I just hate water.
I live 20 minutes from water in every direction, and I still don't swim.
That's the only way you're gonna get out of there, man.
Yeah, I know. That's like Long Island. It's not great for getting off.
You're down in Long Island?
Yeah.
We're like 2 hours away from each other.
Yeah, I know.
Phrasing. I'm just gonna. We're good.
Yeah, it's like there's 2 ways off the island: ferry or bridge. Yeah. Both suck.
Or in a body bag.
Ooh,
which
don't
equally
do
sucks, I guess.
I guess technically also a helicopters and planes as well, but yeah.
Plane, train, some sort of automobile.
I mean, technically, JFK is on Long Island, so.
So is it Wally and Robin that end up fighting the gorilla with a chain gun?
It's like I know Superboy eventually fights Monsieur Mala. I think initially they're fighting vultures. They're fighting vultures initially.
I didn't know Michael Keaton was in this.
Michael Keaton's in it, and he's not Batman.
Oh, he's Batman.
He's always going to be Batman.
People ask him about, so did you like Spider-Man? And he's like, yeah, but Batman's better. Like all the time.
I mean, he had fun.
Oh, for sure.
And all right, so.
But that gorilla's name is the dumbest thing in the world. Why is he a French gorilla?
I don't know.
And why does DC love like turning gorillas into bad guys?
Yeah, there's one here. There's one next episode. There's Grodd.
There's There's the dude who turned himself into an ape. I can't remember. He's the like full white one. They're all weird.
Yeah, he's in the next episode.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man,
So-
there's just too many of them.
Yeah, so many bad gorillas is actually.
Rod.
Yeah, so it's like everybody takes down their cobra venomed up things. That's like, and of course everybody does it, but Superboy's on his own, so he's still fighting the wolves. And
So I'm going to point out, like, that cobra venom was supposed to be the end all be all of like combat stimulant and drugs, and a bunch of freaking superhero kids can take down the entities with cobra venom. Like, that stuff's proving to not be a promising weapon.
Well,
Yeah, but these are also animals. Like if you had like a person behind, like Bane with cobra venom, I would be worried about because Bane is
absolutely.
actually smart and not. He's portrayed in a better way than he is in any other kind of media in the show. Which is great. So I'm not worried about like that makes sense to me. But you're right, Joe. Like maybe have one dude who's there who actually ends up like being a threat.
Well, it's like an elephant is a good challenge for one of these kids, right? Normally.
Yeah.
But like an elephant on cobra venom should have been able to trample at least one of them because they're all getting out of this basically unhurt.
To be fair, all you had to do was take out the collars and they went back to normal-ish. Other than being affected by cobra venom.
It makes sense for some of it, but it's.
And they could have done some cooler thing. Like it would have been cool to see the elephant stop. And I don't think they fought Miss Martian, but the elephant came up and like stomped on Miss Martian, and for a second we thought he actually got her. But then she's intangible, floating away. Like that would have been cool. There's just some missed opportunities in this, I think.
The only one that got any sort of messed up by any of these animals was Superboy, and I would almost argue that's just because he's got poor self-control.
That and it's in his contract that his shirt needs to get ripped every episode. Needs to get ripped or it needs to come off.
So this episode was called Teen Wolf?
Close, alpha males.
Oh, wow.
Which probably should have been the alternate title to Teen Wolf.
Yeah, it sounds like a spin-off show.
Yes.
I don't like it.
Wasn't there a show called Alphas, I think?
There was, and it was good the first season, but it did horribly the second season.
That was like, wasn't that kind of like Sci-Fi's attempt at like an X-Men like show without actual superhero costumes?
It was their heroes, and it was actually decent, but I don't know. I think the things that with most comic books that you have an advantage on instead of trying to do your own superhero show is that you have all of the material. Now, if you're DC film, not animation, because their animation's amazing. If you're DC film, you're going to ignore all of your source material. But I feel like that's what benefits a lot of these shows. So I think like when Heroes comes out, they were just starting their comic series when they started, and Alphas, it just kind of they don't have that recognizable.
Yeah.
Je ne sais quoi.
All right, so of course, Captain Marvel, being the kid that he is, gets distracted by a kitty cat and gets trapped. And that's when Aqualad decides this is the time where I take command back of the team. He has this whole nice speech of, you all chose me to be leader. If you don't want me to be leader after this mission, fine. But as of right now, you listen. We need to go save Captain Marvel.
Yep. Which I really enjoyed that too, because there was that come to Jesus moment with Captain Marvel and Aqualad where basically Captain Marvel makes the like whole speech about like, look, Batman is arguably like not as strong as any other member of the Justice League, physically strong or imposing or big or whatever, but he's got this presence that allows him to basically take command anytime he wants. And I love the back and forth with it, and that ends with he's like, you know what, you're really smart, and he's just like, wisdom of and I can't
wisdom of Solomon.
Solomon. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go after this cat. Bye. He's like, wait, no,
speed of Mercury. Speed of Mercury.
Because as Joe knows, wisdom and intelligence are two very different things.
They're very different things.
Very different things. They actually do bring that up in a later episode too, which is great.
Yeah.
But so of course they mount their assault on the Brain's base, which is now when they fault Monsieur Mala and his chain gun, and of course Superboy's like, I hate monkeys.
He's an ape.
Okay. Superboy doesn't care. He hates monkeys.
That's just blind racism, and I will not stand for it.
Well, you gotta. I mean, he's not. He doesn't have the wisdom of Solomon. He's only a few months old.
It's true. As we saw, the last week's roster of episodes that I actually watched.
Yeah.
That was a good one where Megan's like, "Oh, wonder what? Oh God, oh no!" Like,
he didn't have a personality 6 months ago.
Yep.
Hello, Megan.
Joe's not a fan of that. Not a fan of that.
Oh, Kimber hated it. I made her watch the show. She hated it.
It doesn't bother me in general, but what bothers me is it's like 3 times an episode in most episodes. She has that, like, every time she has a realization, and I know it's because she learned society probably through media.
Yeah.
It's like, but Tom, you've watched the show, right?
Yeah. I know where it comes from later.
It's got a great payoff.
Oh yeah, the turnaround. I will tell you though, the new roster member we get out of that episode we're talking about, not a huge fan of what they did with him. Not a huge fan.
We'll talk about not a huge fan. All right, yeah, yeah, you're not a huge fan of what they did with his origin.
Yeah, not at all. And design.
Yeah, I'll give you design, but I in this universe I enjoy his origin, but we'll put a pin in that discussion, save it for later.
Now, you saw that it's coming off of Netflix in August, right?
Yeah, yeah. So everybody watch the next 4 episodes tomorrow. Wink, wink, and we'll find a way to watch it week after that.
I'm sure we're resourceful enough to figure out a way to watch them.
It's like, I just can't tell you to pirate it, wink, but so if you happen upon the episode, that's
I'm not gonna tell you to pirate it, but raise sails and
right. So they back to the episode. It's like what is it with when Toms come in? Both you and Zambino, you come in and then we just get derailed all the time.
That's the fun part of
this is flavor text.
That's so we've got end of the episode. They take down the brain. As which probably one of the greatest moments. It's the brain sort of like it's like you go, like he's like it's like all nice. It's like you think he's gonna detonate. Everyone's like, get down, and he turns off the lights. Lights turn back on. He's gone. I'm like, that's such a brain move.
It's hilariously anticlimactic.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, that's how the brain would escape. You just turn off the lights and go.
Go ahead, Joe.
I love the reveal of the brain when it's Wally and Artemis or something like that talking about it, and it's just like, look, it's the brain. She's like, yeah, I can see it's a brain. She's like, no, it's the brain,
not a brain.
Because of my Teen Titan Go reflexes, I wanted them to call him Brian once. I know it came out before Teen Titans Go and stuff, but rewatching episodes, I'm just like, I wish some Teen Titans Go humor would insert itself magically.
What's wrong with you?
Well, it's great. It's the same thing. If you remember a Pinky and the Brain episode, he goes on Jeopardy because he wants to win all the money to rule the world. And the guy keeps calling him Brian. It's the funniest stuff in the world.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. But
I wonder if there's like a villain like pantheon of like, because it reminds me of like Fairly Odd Parents with the Crimson Chin and stuff. Like, are there other villains like the arm and the leg, and then maybe they can like Voltron up at the end of an episode? That'd be sweet.
I don't believe that there is. No.
DC. We're giving you all this.
That's like just have them all be children of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, why not just go the evil con carne route and get the stomach?
Oh no.
Anyway, at pretty much end of the episode, everybody's just like, it's like once they talk it out, like, so yeah, you didn't tell us because the information came from Sportsmaster. And Artemis is like, you can't trust Sportsmaster. It's like, I know that's
why.
Why can't you trust Sportsmaster?
it's like once he's gotten to explain like half of the reason, like once he says where he got the information from, like Robin's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, it's like everybody just calms down. It's like, all right, fine, you're still leader.
That's really frustrating that that's all it took is like they gave him the chance to explain where he got the information from, and everyone in the team is like, oh, because he could have been lying and you didn't want this to happen, and
yeah. Oh, that's like, oh, so you kept it from us to stop this exact thing from happening? Yeah.
It's like in Kung Pao when the master's like, no, and he's like, I implore you to reconsider, and he's like, okay.
But at least they get Superboy gets another pet. You know, calling back to what you said last week, or either you or Ash said last week. Superboy just picking up strays.
Yep.
Well, he is a stray.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's
which
almost
is
word for word. It's almost word for word. I'm just like I'm not gonna say it because like they're getting another stray.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I knew going into that that was happening because last week when Ashley was getting ready for the show, after we'd finished watching last week's episodes, I just kept watching because I'm like, if I don't get the chance to watch, at least I can be ahead for the next episode.
Right. But it is a very tempting show to just keep watching ahead.
Yep.
And I think it's ultimately why I decided to have 4 episodes a week, because at least it's a good number of episodes per week, and like not doing like, yeah, we're doing this 2 episodes a week, guys.
Well, I mean, it's not like Game of Thrones episodes where they're an hour each. It's 22 minutes each episode. Yeah. It's not bad.
It's not horrible. But of course, that wraps up the episode. You know, Captain Marvel doesn't want to leave. He's having so much fun. He goes back home. He transforms back into Billy after having a nice little conversation with his uncle in his apartment in Fawcett City. It's a nice little. It's a nice call to Fawcett Comics, where Captain Marvel originated.
I love how Billy's uncle is just like so over all of this crap. It's just like. Did you have fun with the superheroes, Billy? That's good. Brush your teeth and get to bed.
I mean, honestly, this is where I want Aunt May to be in the next Spider-Man movie. Just be like so desensitized to him doing this. It's like you just fought Thanos like last week, and you're up and walking. You can take care of yourself. Just have fun.
At the same time, though, she could be like, oh, you can fight the Vulture, but you can't take out the garbage? Come on.
Yes, crap like that would be perfect. Like, you're not too busy to go stop that bank robbery. I don't know what you're talking about. Holds up a newspaper. And, like,
it's like some photograph donated by Peter Parker. Damn it!
I just love the conundrum, too, that, like, he's this science kid, and he could, like, he could show the high tensile web stuff that he made as like a science project to get into almost any engineering college in the country, and he's just like, I made this amazing technology, but no one can ever know.
Yeah. Well, unless he's like, oh, I made it for Spider-Man, but that's like you leave too many like.
Well, then everyone's gonna want to know who Spider-Man is.
Yep. It's like, you made this for Spider-Man, you didn't find out who he was. What kind of a genius are you? Denied.
He ordered it online.
Don't even bring up ordering web fluid online, because that's just how he did it in Amazing Spider-Man. That pissed me off. It's like he ordered it from the company that he was using it to fight against. How does nobody piece that together?
Using Bing, no one uses Bing.
At least in Batman Begins, when Batman's making the suit and he's ordering all the pieces online to make the suit.
Yeah.
Order like 55,000 units. Why that many? Well, then it's not going to be suspicious if there's
super suspicious.
If there's 55,000 of these bat masks.
Yeah, true.
Especially, and they're like porcelain, right? And they broke like really easily. So I'm like, at least they have extras.
But got to move on to the final episode.
Yep.
Revelation. It is the Injustice League, and this is I was almost tempted to name this episode Injustice Zero: Heroes Among Us or something along those lines. I'm like, but then I was, because I knew this episode was coming, but then once I got to the Get Traught line. I'm like, that has to be the name of this episode name. It has to be Get Traught or Get Dead. I'm like, how could it not be? I'd be fooling myself if I made it anything else.
Yep.
But it's like there's plants sprouting out all across the world. It's insane. And they can shoot out Joker venom too, and they're all they're all grown to this massive size because of Cobra venom, and they're being controlled by the Joker. And then got Poison Ivy and Ultrahumanite and Black Adam and Count Vertigo and just Atomic Skull, I think, and Wotan. But those are that's getting to the characters that I just don't know.
It's like I know half of this group, like Ultrahumanite, Black Adam, Joker, and Poison Ivy. Those are the ones I'm like, yeah, I know who they are, and then the other three I'm like, okay.
It's like, yeah, Count Vertigo, that character that they tried to do twice on Arrow, and worked better the first time. It's like
they didn't try doing her again or another Vertigo this season too, or was that the second one?
No, they did
three.
They did Vertigo, and he was in season 1. They did the Count, I think, who was he sold Vertigo. He was Count Vertigo, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one went by Count Vertigo, and that was like the hallucinogenic Vertigo that had Katie Cassidy fighting. I don't remember her actress's name, but Sarah Lance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He came back again in an alternate version in the future last season.
Did he? Yeah, he might have been around. Yeah, it's
I don't know. I hated last season of Flash. I don't know. But this was a little disappointing. The roster they picked up.
Well, I mean, they were, spoiler alert, they were the fall guys for the real bad guys. I think the disappointing thing is that this lineup had the Joker.
Yeah, because when is the Joker anyone else's fall guy?
Yeah. But I honestly, the reason that the Joker was a part of the Injustice League is because the writers had written all of these Joker lines and didn't have a good place to use them.
They didn't have a
good voice actor to read them.
They didn't have a villain that could be snarky enough, basically.
It's like they just had all these Joker lines. Like, okay, we're gonna have the Joker in this one episode.
But half of them are really good Joker lines.
I mean,
I think the Trickster would have been more appropriate. Riddler
could have pulled it off better, and then they could have brought Riddler back.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but I gotta admit, seeing Joker holding a knife, saying, "I always wanted to carve that bird."
That was good.
That was great. That was legitimately a great line. And
they were going, because it did imply the relationship with the Batman stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. But the rest of the Joker stuff, I'm like, the only reason they have Joker there is so the plants that Poison Ivy's making can have Joker venom.
Yeah. Which I feel like would not, there's a thing with chemistry. I feel like if you just add stuff, Joker has been sprayed in the face with Scarecrow's fear toxin and asked for a different flavor because he's so, the chemicals are they're so similar that I don't understand. You can't just stack.
Also, I don't know if he can be afraid.
Yeah, no,
well,
I don't think
the thing about the Joker is he has super sanity. He's not insane. He has super insanity, so his mental reactions to things change every 5 seconds. That's why it seems like he's so resourceful. Is because he can literally reprocess how to deal with the situation.
But yeah, he was being the puppet master to do this, and they just had a lot of weird lines. Like, I can juggle these. It's because I can control them because of my multiple personalities. I'm like, he doesn't have multiple personalities. I mean, unless you're talking about Rebirth now, when there's 3 Jokers.
Well, I'm pretty sure
which didn't exist at that point.
Inside nod to that, or B, it's just Joker making a joke.
But it's not an inside nod to that because that's still 6 years before that happened.
There was an issue where Joker thinks he kills Batman and he goes and he kind of just falls into this fake identity. Mm-hmm. And I think it's Joseph Kern he turns into. So Joker. And then finally, when he realizes Batman's alive, it's that identity fighting the Joker identity, because the Joker identity can't exist without Batman. So that's like the closest thing they've done to multiple personalities. As far as I'm aware.
But alas, but it is essentially just a whole team of heavy hitters. Well, some heavy hitters like Black Adam and Ultra Humanite, Wotan.
Yeah, but say Wotan is probably a heavy hitter in his own right.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but the team, like they've got this plan. They're the ones tasked to take on the Injustice League, because literally every other superhero are fighting the plants, and we get nice little vignettes of like fighting in Star City, fighting Gotham City, and fighting Metropolis. So all that goodness. And then obviously Captain Marvel wants to go along, but it's like, no, you can't. The entire league needs to be seen doing this, or else this plan will fail. It's like,
like pack up shop and be ready for them.
Yeah.
You know what this? Go ahead.
And it's actually nice to get that we get to actually see Roy and Green Arrow fighting alongside each other again after that falling out that they had in episode 1.
Yeah. You know what this episode reminded me of? The Justice League episode where Booster Gold saves the world from that black hole thing, but everyone else is too busy fighting the aliens to realize that he even did anything.
Yep.
This is kind of how that we're at.
Yeah, but that's like such a Booster Gold story too.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Like when he actually does something good that would get him world renown and like being a good person, nobody's there to see it.
Yeah, but and it's like, and of course they're all gonna go in. Aqualad has this nice little duffel bag that's their backup plan in case things turn south. And it's like, of course, you're like wondering the entire time what could possibly be in this duffel bag.
My mind is like, did Batman give them a bomb? I remember when I was first watching, like, does he have like a tiny nuke in that thing? And it's just like, really hope we don't have to go with the backup plan, because we'll all die.
Rocket Raccoon pops out his head. He's like, you got any tape?
Yeah. But it's like they managed to hold their own for a little bit against the Injustice League, but things starting to turn south. Artemis gets targeted, and then Wally's like, "You stay away from her," and then it's just like he goes in, gets his arm broken.
Yep.
And
which is the beginning of this episode, or was it the beginning of the last episode that everyone's starting to realize that that Robin and Aqualad have the back and forth for moments? Like, does everyone realize they're a couple? Well, I think we realized it before anyone else. And then Wally and Artemis walk up, and like Robin and Aqualad are just like, should we tell them that they're a couple?
Yeah, it's like, I think that was this episode.
It was first hinted, though, because I mean, up to this point, we all know Wally has had a flash for Martian Manhunter's niece. Yeah. But when we first hear the inkling of find someone who's going to correct you, make sure you get a firecracker.
The Dr. Fate episode.
Spitfire, yeah.
Somebody that doesn't let you get away with nothing.
So I mean, at this point, I feel like it's destined. It's mystical.
Yeah.
Well, when a Lord of Fate tells you, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Is he related to Clark in any way? His last name's Kent, right?
No, his first name's Kent.
His first name's Kent. That was like watching. I'm like, I know that biologically.
Yeah. No, his name is Kent Nelson.
Nelson.
Okay. That's what it was.
Yeah, then it goes to the joke when Superboy takes the name Connor Kent's like, shouldn't my name be Connor Nelson then?
It's funny.
Yeah. But, Wally gets his arm broke. Wolf is in the fight. He's fighting Ultra Humanite, which is great. It's like Wolf joins the team and then immediately is more useful than Sphere so far. I mean, other than the one scene we have where in Homefront where Miss Martian and Superboy are kissing, and then Sphere comes in and it's like boop boop boop. I was like, what's going on, Sphere? And then Wally walks up. It's like, and they both pet Sphere. It's like, good boy.
Yeah, Sphere's like somewhere between C-3PO and R2-D2, where like it has C-3PO sass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's cool. I like it, and I like what he later, becomes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
No. Yeah. That's like that. It's like that's either next episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
That's next week. That happens.
He becomes a cube.
He goes from sphere to cube. But we, it's like, of course, the backup plan is the helmet of Dr. Fate, which is nice because we've been talking about Dr. Fate for a couple minutes. Like, nice to bring that back up because now Aqualad puts on the helmet of Fate, which Wally is like, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
no, you're never going to be able to take that thing off. I barely escaped.
Because he is trained in mystics and shit, so
Yeah.
like...
That's like when Aqualad's the one to put that on, he's terrified because like, oh no, I'm a man of science. He's a man of magic. Oh no.
Yep.
But they managed to hold off the Injustice League for long enough for them to take out the main plant, which frees up the rest of the league, and for them to swoop in and save the day again, just sort of like episode 2, where it's like the entire league just sort of descends down to help out, and then of course we get Dr. Fate, just wearing the helmet as Aqualad. Well, probably one of the things I really like is that you have the voice actor for Naboo, and then that's always mixed with the voice of whoever is the host of Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
So like this episode we got Aqualad talking and Dr. Fate talking. Episode 7 we had him and Wally talking at the same time. And
yeah, I'm a huge fan of that because like growing up watching Dragon Ball Z, whenever they did the fusion of Vegito and Goku, they would do that. They would put the voices on top of each other. So when I saw that and I realized that they were doing it for each different character on the show, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Definitely give me that kind of vibe.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice little touch. It's like he is, he's talking through them.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's of course it's he's able to take off the helmet because we don't get to see it, but Kent Nelson still managed to convince Naboo to release Aqualad. It's like, and he says hi to Wally.
Yeah, well, I think at this point, like, Naboo's at a weird point. He's either like, do I become this fear-like thing, like where like I take over a person and then I'm not involved with anything ever again, or am I a useful tool that, when needed, like a Lord of Light should, or a Lord of Order should, show up when necessary. I like what they're doing with that. If it was Fate all the time, it'd be so OP.
Yeah, so, it's like,
and, I also really enjoy it because he's showing some supreme patience for an entity that doesn't think like a human, because he's now twice had the opportunity and has just been like, I don't
the issue,
like, walk.
The issue is he going to have that patience a third time? Is the real question.
Like, yeah,
see, I know the answer. Tom knows the answer.
I know the
Is he going to have the patience for a third time?
The answer is maybe.
Maybe. That's like he might be persuaded to release a vessel, but for a different vessel.
Yeah.
But he's the next time this happens, he's not leaving without a vessel, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
and it's like it's going to be one of those issues where you don't want to lose either character that's offered as an option, but it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's weird how the show handles stakes, because usually, like, when you're thinking stakes, it's whenever you see a lot of high action stuff, you're like, oh no, something's gonna go wrong. But like Robin versus the Joker, if that Robin was Jason Todd, I would be worried. But I know nothing's gonna happen. You know what I mean out of this. But the way it does with like personalized storylines, that's what actually gives you the worry and stuff like that, where the tension. And I think that's really clever. Instead of like having the battle with sky beams and a 800 the same looking thing coming at you, you know what I mean? It's more of an emotional stake, and I really like that about this show.
Yep.
Well, I mean, not to say that this show won't do a lot of things that look exactly the same well later on. That's like I do like that. That's not where they go stakes right away.
No, I think this season. While I think I like both seasons, I think this season has the most heart.
Yes, I will agree. Season 2 is practically a different show, but the same show.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, but it's like I'm doing my best to not talk about anything season 2 because that like first moment of when season 2 starts is
it's so cool.
Worth not knowing anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I think more shows should do that.
Yeah.
But
we'll
talk about it when we get there.
It's like I will legitimately talk for 10 minutes just about those first few minutes of season 2. just for how much, it's like it's implied and showed.
Season 2 is a lot more like the world building, which is really good. You know what I mean? It fleshes out the series more. But
yeah, it's it's like it changes the focus a little bit, but like it's like you miss certain aspects, but at the same time you enjoy what's in front of you as well.
Yeah, and I saw the roster for season 3, so it looks like some of that has some carryover too. Yeah. So that's really exciting. But let's get back to season 1.
Yeah, we're gonna go. It's like season 1 is where people fall in love with the show.
Oh yeah.
And of course there is a game that takes place between seasons 1 and 2. I've never played it, and pretty much all the plot points are explained in season 2. So it's like it's not necessary to understand the story. It just fills in some blanks.
Oh, like a video game?
Yeah, a video game. Young Justice Legacy.
System?
It's for the DS, I believe.
Oh, well, I'm never getting that. Okay. Nintendo!
And of course, you should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right, so end of the episode. The Injustice League is taken down. Everybody gets locked up. And, of course, go to the light. We get our first full revelation of who is in the light, and let's see if I can go through everybody by memory. Now, the first two that we did have revealed in previous episode, we have Lex Luthor and Ra's al Ghul.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the Brain.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Queen Bee. We've got other people too. It's like I know we have more, and I'm like, Vandal Savage.
Yes, big one. Big one.
That big one next season. But
yeah, well, okay. The events of this, we'll find out why he's a big one.
Yeah.
And one of the best interpretations of Savage, what they do with them on the CW is horrible. So this is great.
Oh yeah. Well, I will say that I enjoyed the DCAU Vandal Savage as well.
Yes.
That's like he's also done really well here too. But that's for a later episode, and that's like his first big episode is probably one of my favorites.
I feel like there's another woman on the team that we're missing because we only said Queen Bee, right?
Ocean Master. Forgot about Ocean Master.
Well, that's not one, but
here, I'll look it up real quick. We gotta be missing somebody.
Yeah, I just feel like they wouldn't put one woman there. I think they would have put at least 2.
Mm.
And let's see.
Wikipedia. Because I know for a fact everybody is listed on the Wikipedia's episode.
The sorcerer guy, the kid.
Oh, Clarion the Witch Boy.
Clarion the Witch Boy.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Vandal Savage, Ra's al Ghul, Lex Luthor, Queen Bee, Ocean Master, Brain, and Clarion the Witch Boy. Okay, we got everybody.
Oh, wow.
Looks like we were just missing Clarion.
A little disappointing. All right.
Yeah. Oh well, it happens.
Well, and Lex and Ra's al Ghul, but they were just introduced before then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I start with them.
Yeah, that's why I make sure.
Anyway,
do more people get revealed later, or is it just them? I can't remember.
Well, they have like lots of sub members and stuff, like how Black Manta works for the Light, and all sorts of other stuff.
That's like there will be some shakeups of the Light's roster in season 2. That's what you're thinking of. But
okay,
that's it, and I think we should wrap it up. All right, so guys, got anything you want to plug beforehand? I know you guys just filmed a BFF, Joe, because
just released the BFF last week over Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's up on the Tough channel. You can find it. We're working on our next one, which I think is over the Flash. Yeah, the W Flash. And we'll be binging the 3rd season of that this week. Anywho, yeah, that's a lot of it. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Drake Masters. Ashley is that _ Mrs. Davis, and we have that at Geek to My Nerd, but there's like an underscore between each word. I'll share it online later. And we've also been doing live streams. Ashley, most notably, has recently been live streaming Rogue Legacy,
which is
like I said last week. Which I said last week, one of my favorite games.
Yeah. I never heard of that game, but I was watching Ashley's playthrough, and it's interesting. I like it. And back to the Ash vs. Evil Dead review that Joe just put up. I might have to give that show another chance because your description of the 2nd season kind of won me over. 1st season kind of lost me. So. Yeah,
the 1st season is slower than the 2nd. There's some weird stuff in the 2nd season, but it really picks up.
Yeah, I'm excited. But I'm Tom from Odd Shape Channel, and that's a thing I do.
Finally awake.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I work overnight, so I try to be here when I can. That's why our shows are later than usual. But coming up tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're doing a Doctor Who Odd Shape panel, which is a discussion show that you can call in if you have anything to say about Doctor Who. Feel free to come join us. It doesn't have to be positive. Maybe you're like, I didn't like the new Doctor Who. And we'll go, you're wrong, but tell us why. This Tuesday, we're doing the Night's Watch recap, which is the Game of Thrones recap, 9 o'clock p.m. Oh, that's tonight. Oh, Game of Thrones. And Wednesday is our Twin Peaks recap, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, oddshapechannel.com, youtube.com/oddshapechannel. That's us. Tell Kim Barrett said hello.
Yep. All right, so I've been Eric Ossenwalker, and this has been Just Whelmed, and let's go through the 4 episodes we're covering next week.
Okay.
So we've got episode 15, Humanity, episode 16, Failsafe, episode 17, Disordered, and episode 18, Secrets, which I got to be honest is probably my least favorite episode of the series. It's definitely got one of the weaker plots, and I'm glad that we got 2 back-to-back great episodes right before that, though, that I can probably spend a lot of time talking of, because there's a lot that I'm not going to want to talk about in Secrets. But other than that, this has been a great episode, guys. Great to finally get you on, Tom.
Yes, and I will do my best to be here next week. Like I said, I do get home. It depends when I fall asleep when I get home, so I'll do my best to be back. But I'll watch the episodes this week, because I didn't plan on being here today. Even though, because I thought for sure I was going to miss it. But I'm excited. I'm here. And thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. It's an open invitation for everybody. Yeah.
I've enjoyed it so far. We've only not been able to be on one episode, but in general, it's a lot of fun. And the show is really good. I loved Justice League and Teen Titans growing up, and this is kind of my combo.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a nice medium between those 2 shows, I would say. Anyway, it's been a great episode, guys. Make sure to watch them. It's like if other Tom is here next week, he's got to make sure to watch all 4. Only watched 1 episode last week. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.